Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is the POKÉPOD with Matt and Devon. Matt is not here today. He has some prior engagements to attend to, so it is just me. I am going to ride this podcast solo today, so I hope you all enjoy it. It's going to be a little bit shorter than it usually is, but still plenty of content to go over. So welcome to the POKÉPOD. This is episode 4 of the POKÉPOD. Before we get into the topics, first things first, this episode of the POKÉPOD is brought to you by PokemonTrade.org, where you can trade all things Pokemon, from the video games to the card games and even Pokemon Collectibles. Come check us out today at PokemonTrade.org. Guys, that is an awesome site. I've been on it. You can go on there, whether it be the video games, Pokemon Collectibles, like I said already. You go on there, whether you're looking for something or you're looking to give away something. There's forums on there, very similar to how they do it on Reddit. People just comment on your post, or you can comment on someone's post. Really easy to do. You can get someone to, initiate a trade with you. You can get what you're looking for. So please go on, check it out at PokemonTrade.org. All right, so as we always try to do for one of our first topics on the podcast, I'm going to give you a little bit of a storyline update for myself. There hasn't been a whole lot of change since this last episode because I've been doing pretty much the same thing since last week's episode. I think the episode wasn't even exactly a week ago. It was actually 6 days ago. But either way, I am now a master trainer. I'm happy to say this. I'm upset Matt isn't here because I can't rub it in his face right now. But I am a Marowak master trainer. I was able to go back into Lavender Town, go back to the same guy that whooped my butt and several times now, because after the podcast was over last week, I went back, fought him, lost again. But with a little luck of the draw, aka I had my Alolan Marowak learn a new TM move, and I had him learn Ice Beam because it's super effective against Marowak. I swapped that out with Thunder, and I used that. Worked. I ended up getting the Master Trainer title, so now I have that. That is one of a lot more that I need to do. It's kind of upsetting it took me this long to get it, but I've been focusing really on other things right now, so yeah, that's my storyline update. I'm still trying to get loot. I've got my Pokemon crown, my Pikachu crown now. I was able to save up 999,999 Pokemon dollars, or Poké dollars as they call it, from doing the loot farming tactic that I mentioned in last week's episode. So if you hadn't listened to episode 3 yet, please go back and listen to that, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I was able to get that final. I believe it was like 130,000 Poké dollars left from what I had last week's episode. I believe I got it the same day as episode 3. So yeah, I got it really quick. It's a really quick tactic. Go check it out. There's also my Scorum blog, scorum.com. Go to my handle at Devon Clements, one word, and you can find it on there as well as to how to do the farming tactic. I like to put it in audio form and in written form, so then that way you can absorb the information however you may, in whatever version you prefer. So one of the things I want to teach you guys about today, because that's what we like to do, I always like to teach, I like to call this class with Mr. Clements. That's what I like to call it here. That's my last name, Clements. So class with Mr. Clements is in session now, and I want to teach you guys how to never break a catch combo again in Pokemon Let's Go. That's right, never break a catch combo again, because that is one of the most frustrating things to deal with in Pokemon Let's Go. Let's say you're 15, 20, 30, even 40 Pokemon into your catch combo, and all of a sudden one runs away from you, and now it's gone. It's gone forever. You can't get that back. Now you got to start over again. It's extremely annoying. I've been on the bad side of that before, and it makes me just want to take my little handheld tablet and just throw it across the room, because I just spent 45 minutes to an hour trying to rack up a catch combo, especially for a difficult Pokemon, whether it be a Chansey or an Eevee or maybe a Rhydon or whatever, a Machoke on Victory Road, whatever the Pokemon may be, fill in the blank. But I'm here to tell you how you can cause that. Well, you can't cause it, but you can know when it's going to happen, when a Pokemon's going to run away, so then that way you can run away from it first and not break the catch combo. I don't know if you knew that, but if a Pokemon runs away from you, the catch combo is broken. But if you run away from the Pokemon first, the catch combo is not broken. So, in order to find out when a Pokemon is going to run away from you, first things first, you need to know what its, I guess you can call it, battle cries are. So you go to your Pokédex, you go to whichever Pokemon you're looking to do the catch combo with, you click on the Pokemon, you click check data, And on the next screen, you should see a bunch of different options on the bottom of the screen. I believe the option is going to be A, which is called check motion. Then from there, it'll have a button for next move. You click that button, and the Pokemon will either have about 2 to 3 moves. I think very few of them have one move, but the one move you want to focus on is the second move out of their move set that they do. For Chansey, for example, Chansey, their first move when you're trying to catch it, it'll kind of just swat at you a little bit with one hand, and basically what that'll do is it'll cause your screen to go from the circle to no circle, and then when you try to throw something, it'll just bounce out the Pokemon. Many of you know what I'm talking about already. I don't really need to get into an explanation, especially if you're looking at this because you've already tried this several times. But anyways, the second move for Chansey is that it'll just belch out a scream. Now that's its second move when you check its moves in the Pokédex, and that's the important one to know because just a couple seconds, I believe it's 2 seconds to be exact, 2 seconds after it does that belching scream, it's going to run away from me when I'm trying to catch it and I'm in the catch screen. So you keep that in mind, and whatever Pokemon it may be, Rhydon I think has a very similar one. It screams out. Ditto, some of them are very subtle, like the Blastoise will have its cannons come out like a little extra. It'll bend down and it'll have its cannons come out a little extra. Ditto does like a bit of like a squiggly move. Some of them are very subtle and they're hard to tell. But once you get a hold of them and you see what the second move is, and you see them do their second move in the catch screen when you're trying to catch them, whether it be a catch combo for the first time, however many times it may be, you got about a 2-second timer before it runs away. So you're going to want to do one of two things. The first thing, which I would probably suggest more than number 2, is to run away from it because that'll just save you from the catch combo breaking. Or the second option would be to throw a Pokeball immediately and hope that you catch it. But the problem with the second option is if you attempt to catch it after it does that second move and you fail to catch it, you will not get a chance to do anything after you try to catch it. It will just run away immediately before you can even have the screen pop up in the bottom left. All the different options pop up, and you won't even get to run away before it runs away from you. So I would suggest doing number 1, though if you're feeling a little ballsy, you can do number 2, but chances are it's not going to work in your favor, and you're just going to be yelling anyways. So yeah, I found this out the other day, and I did it. I did it for the Chanseys. I've been racking up some catch combos. I haven't been able to do it a whole lot. I think I'm at like a 20 catch combo right now, which is way better than anything I had been able to get before in the past, before I knew this. A little hint. So I got to go back in after this podcast, do it a little bit more, and hopefully not only will I get a ton of XP because of the catch combo that I'm racking up, but I'll also get a better chance at catching a shiny Chansey. So obviously that's what we all strive for, not only the catch combo XPs, but also the shiny Pokemon. So I hope that helps you guys out a lot, and yeah, so that's that. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was something Pokemon Go related, but it also is associated with Pokemon Let's Go. This is something I believe we touched upon in episode 2, and that was the mythical creature Meltan. So for those of you who have been playing the game, you already know that one of the only ways you're able to get a Meltan in Pokemon Go now, rather than during the events a few months back when they were spawning, is if you transfer a Pokemon from Pokemon Go to Pokemon Let's Go, you will then get an item called a mystery box in Pokemon Go, which you can activate, and for 30 minutes, Meltan will spawn around you. Now, originally when this option came out, when Pokemon Let's Go came out, when the mystery box was activated, you would only see about, I think I saw a total of like 6 or 7 Meltan spawn within the 30-minute timer. So it wasn't a whole lot, especially considering you need 400 candies in order for it to evolve from a Meltan to a Melmetal. So that takes, I'm not going to do the math right now. If you use them Pinat Berries, which will give you double the candies. I don't really know. It's a lot, no doubt. If you're trying to get, one Meltan, 6 candies in a good scenario where you catch it and you get a Pinat Berry and then you need 400, that's a lot. We'll just do the simple math and say it's a lot. But just like, I think it was a couple weeks ago. I'm not exactly sure the exact date of it, but it was definitely recently. They came out, Niantic came out with a buff for the mystery boxes, so that way when you go through the same process of transferring Pokemon over from Pokemon Go to Pokemon Let's Go, the mystery box spawns a hell of a lot more, I should say, a hell of a lot more Meltan during that 30-minute timer. I tested it out myself, and instead of getting like 6 or 7, I got right around like 15 Meltan during that time period. And, doing the peanut berries as well, I'm getting upwards or close to 100 candies in just one session. So instead of it taking, 3 to 4 months for me to trying to get a stupid freaking Melmetal, it'll only take me, I'd say another 3 weeks and I'll have my Melmetal, which is awesome because since this is the only way we can get it, and it takes 20 candies of walking, or I'm sorry, it takes 20 kilometers of walking to get one Meltan candy, then this is such a better way to do it, and this is rightfully the best way to do it, because before it was ridiculous. 6 or 7 Meltan in that 30-minute window was insane. It takes too long, especially since you can only do it once every 7 days. And I'm really glad they did it, and hopefully now, sooner rather than later, I'll have my Melmetal, and I can check that one off the list of mythical creatures to get, because I pretty much, I think it's safe to say I have every other one because of the Pokemon Go transfers. I have every other mythical creature that is needed in Pokemon Let's Go, except for Melmetal. So yeah, if you haven't been able to do that, you've been frustrated with that, now you go back in, transfer a Pokemon over, activate the mystery box, and you'll see many, many, many more, 2 to 3 times more Meltans spawn in that 30-minute window. You're welcome. Let's move on. So the last thing I want to talk about, and I'm definitely going to make it the last thing I talk about because I'm getting sick of listening to my own voice, so I can only imagine what it's like for the rest of you listening to me talk. It must be a drag because I find it a drag to listen to myself talk. But anyways, let's keep moving on because me just talking about it is just me talking more. So this is not Pokemon related, like we've mentioned before. We like to talk about other video games also on the Nintendo Switch. So one that came out last week on the day of our episode 3, was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, I should say the only reason I'm glad that I'm doing this podcast by myself is so I can talk about Super Smash Bros. Because it would just be an awkward conversation if Matt was also on the line with me. He doesn't have it, he hasn't played it, so he wouldn't be able to have any comments or have any input in the conversation because he hasn't touched the game at all. So here's a way of me just talking about it by myself and not having to have that awkward conversation with someone who doesn't know about the game. So I just want to give a quick review. Overall, the game was pretty awesome. I love it. It's a little overwhelming when you see how many characters you have to unlock originally. If my numbers were correct, I think the game gives you 8 characters to start off the game with. Those are like your starter characters. And you basically have to unlock the other characters through those beginning 8 characters. You can either do it through the adventure mode, which is where you pick one character and basically go through a whole map fighting different guys, and then you unlock them however many different levels, whatever you may call it. But the way I like to do it is through classic mode, which basically same idea. You pick a character, and then I believe you go through 8 levels before, and then on the 8th level you fight a boss. One of those levels is your typical, hey, there's a storm behind you, collect as many coins and move through the map as fast as you can before the storm gets you and you die. But anyways, you fight, like for example, when you try to unlock Pokemon Trainer, which is something I feel like is worth mentioning because this is a Pokemon podcast. You get Pokemon Trainer, you unlock him, and for his 8 levels, it's basically you're fighting Pokemon-related characters that are in the game, whether it be Mewtwo, whether it be Pikachu, whether it be Pichu, like all the different characters. And I will mention, Pokemon Trainer is pretty cool because you don't actually battle as a Pokemon Trainer character, but you battle as his Pokemon, which are Squirtle, Ivysaur, and Charizard. So you can switch off between the 3 of them throughout the entire game, however you may want to use them. But that's pretty cool. Anyways, I've done it that way, and so I went from 8 characters, and I believe I'm up to somewhere in like the 55 range, and there's 76 total characters, so I'm about 21 away, if that my math was correct as to how many I actually have. And then that's not including some of the DLC characters, and then the Piranha Plant that we will also be getting because of the pre-order at the beginning of the year, next year. So it's a lot of fun. I have not played online yet. I'm a little worried. I feel like I want to get all my characters. I want to get all my characters first before I go online. That way I know I have everybody. I have all the options. I'm a little nervous because I haven't played this game since the Nintendo 64. The controllers are different, so I'm still adjusting to that. Um, I'm not used to these kind of games either. I'm not used to the button smashing and use my shield and stuff like that. That's one of my biggest problems is I don't use my shield too often. I'm kind of just like here, let me try to hit you as many times as I can. If you hit me and if you damage me first, I'm done because I'm not going to protect myself in any way, shape, or form, which I feel like online is going to get exposed pretty easily, so I need to work on that. But anyways, it's a really fun game. If you're into those types of games, I think you'll like it a lot. You have 76 characters. That's not including some of the DLC characters that'll be coming out in the upcoming months. And if you guys want to add me, you can go on scorm.com where this blog's going to be, or you can comment on my YouTube post for this podcast, and tell me you want to add me on Nintendo. We can play together. I'll copy and paste my friend code into there. We can play together. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm always looking for new friends. I only have a handful of them on there, to be honest, because I don't have a ton of friends that have the Nintendo Switch. So please let me know you want to be friends on there. I'll add you. We'll play a little bit. Maybe we can trade some Pokemon or battle on Pokemon. Play Super Smash. I got Mario Kart. I got all these fun games, guys. So let's be friends in that game. And yeah, that's about it. I appreciate you guys listening. I can't believe I was actually able to get about almost 17 minutes of content out of this. But hey, I guess I talk a little bit more than I usually would if I was not in front of a mic. So I appreciate you all listening to this. Once again, this has been the POKÉPOD episode 4. I appreciate you listening to me solo in this one, and I will talk to you guys next week when Matt's back. Thank you.